A spiritual entity has a memory accumulated around a particular agenda. Most of the time, that agenda is a negative one. The giant terror spiritual entity also had such memory. A memory of wandering Bellatus without any meaning or purpose. The militia also wandered from place to place before settling at their current camp. It was really tough back then. But seeing those soldiers who now turned into life slaves makes me feel sad.
In the past, you asked Eryx what to do with the lump of evil spirit that was stuck like tar on your clothes. At that time, you heard a story about the past of the giant Terra, and Eryx seemed to have seen similarities in the past of the militia and the giant Terra, who had wandered endlessly throughout Bellatus. You could feel that she truly cared for the soldiers.
I understand. I'll regroup with the militia and join you later. We did lose a lot, but it's a relief that we saved you.
You were imprisoned while unconscious, but you recovered with the help of the militia who came to rescue you. While you were helping the militia who were searching for an escape route, you ran into Weeper, a 7-year-old boy who escaped from the Redonimo, and you rescued him from the pagans. Weeper lost his parents while fleeing from the pagans, so you went in search of the Repenters, but they were executed by the revived pagans due to the life-slave phenomenon that spread throughout Bellatus after the pagans created the plague moon. Favina said that the reinforcements that were supposed to come were not here, and asked you to search for them. While you were investigating the surroundings, you witnessed that the militia who were annihilated in a surprise attack turned into life slaves. As you searched for an escape route, you ran into the Calicorda guards. The guards questioned you about the pagans appearing every time you showed up at Calicorda. You started feeling drained from all of the events, in addition to seeing the exit you have searched so hard for being blocked as well. You headed to confirm the exit that the scouts found. As a matter of fact, Kristen and the Aphros Knights were heading somewhere other than Calicorda, and they seemed to have blocked all the paths out of fear that you might escape. After a relentless search, you found an escape route from the ruins area to the plaza. Notel from the plaza saw you slaying Terras for Calicorda and said there might have been a misunderstanding between you and Fred. He advised you to talk to each other. You heeded the advice and approached Fred, but you were surprised at Favina, who killed Fred before you even had a chance to stop him. Favina smiled at you, asking you why you were trying to stop him. You and Favina went to the final bulwark and defeated the giant Terra and the revived Terra chieftain, Glanus. In this process, you obtained a crystal you had never seen before. You saw that Glanus used the crystal to become stronger, so you decided to share this information. When Eryx saw the item you brought, she said that it is a conglomerate of power called Tears of God, and that if you use several, you might be able to fight the plague cloud that the pagans were moving to Trom. When he heard this story, Pan suggested heading to Mallow Front to find another Titan creature, so you decided to follow him.
Thank you. things that turned into life slaves came back to life and continued the onslaught. Many soldiers became exhausted from the endless battles, and desperation slowly began to develop amongst them. You, along with Pan and Weber, headed to the waterway that connects Mallow Front and Calicorda. The place that was once filled with silent corpses is now filled with endless battles between the Aphros guards and the life slaves. Mallow Front was struggling against the revived Dimps and Wasteland bandits. The soldiers just kept on fighting this battle with no end in order to gain a slight time advantage.
Carter was Captain Percy's only son. His wife passed away while giving birth to Carter, and so everyone under Captain Percy's unit wanted to support the captain and Carter. Carter grew up and volunteered to be part of the guards, saying he wanted to be like Captain Percy. But Carter died in a tragic accident during training shortly after joining the guards. The captain buried Carter close by so he can visit him often. But it is very sad to see how things have turned out in the end. Rune Hunter, we meet again. I sense Alyssa did not abandon us just yet. We're having trouble with the Risen Dead ever since the Red Moon rose. What you just saw was also one of the problems we've been trying to solve. May I tell you about it back at Mallow Front? Captain Percy is heartbroken. It's because Carter is Captain Percy's dead son. Even though his men were threatened, it wouldn't have been easy for him to raise his sword against his own son. Mallow Front is barely fending off the attack from the revived ones. The massive earthquake caused some geological shifts, making it difficult to anticipate enemy attack routes. And the revived Wasteland bandit officers are also a great threat to us. We would like to ask you for your help in defeating revived Alto and Conralto. Rune Hunter, if it isn't too much to ask, can you help me on your way out? I'm trying to make a cocktail that will help Captain Poshi relax. But it seems he's run out of all the ingredients. If you have time to spare, it would be a great help if you could find ingredients from the Yellow Wastelands and Empty Hills.
We can help out the Aphros guards, while we look for the Titan creature, as you said. I see that you're always giving your best at all that you do. I should follow your example and try helping out with what I can. Weeper seems shaken after what happened earlier. Why don't you check on him before you leave?
I was scared that you might get hurt. I don't know what I'd do if you weren't with me. I thought about it, but even if I go to Trom alone, I'll probably think of you all the time. So please, look after yourself. Promise me.
Carter was Captain Poshi's only son. His wife passed away while giving birth to Carter, and so everyone under Captain Poshi's unit wanted to support the captain and Carter. Carter grew up and volunteered to be part of the guards, saying he wanted to be like Captain Poshi. But Carter died in a tragic accident during training shortly after joining the guards. The captain buried Carter close by so he can visit him often. But it is very sad to see how things have turned out in the end.
Poshi's only son, Carter, said he wanted to be like Poshi and enlisted in the Aphros Guard. But shortly after enlisting, he lost his life in an unfortunate accident. And now, Carter was brought back to life as a life slave. When you heard this story from Lance, you finally understood why Poshi looked so miserable when he put his sword through Carter.